Shalom and welcome to Mitzvah Torah. This year is entitled, Can a Man Sit on a Plane or Bus or Train Next to a Woman? Part 1, we saw that the Shulchan Aruch writes, once we misrachek misha ma'od ma'od, it's a person should stay far away from an erva. It's not the typical halacha, it's an extreme language we only see several times in the whole Shulchan Aruch. So obviously, in general, a person should be careful about flirting and hanging out and all that stuff, and just platonic relationships and all that whole concept. Not a simple thing at all, but that's a general concept, and separation between men and women in many areas is very good and appropriate and sometimes even demanded. But in this specific case, we need to apply the rules in a very detailed halachic way. You can't just take a general statement. We have to see how it should apply. So the next point is regarding Negiah. That's general staying away. What about Negiah? The halachas of Negiah, touching a woman. Because here the fear is either being near a woman, you're going to have bad thoughts, and that could be one problem. Maybe Negiah, sitting near each other, you might rub against each other, bump into each other. So first let's understand Negiah, touching, what the halacha is. And then Yetz Hashem in the next year, we'll see Rav Moshe Feinstein and Shevet Levi Rav Vosner, what they say specifically about being in a place, a cramped place like a train and the like. So regarding Negiah, the Rambam in Issur Negiah, chapter 21, Halach Aleph, Chaf Aleph Aleph, writes that a person who is with someone who's an erva, a married woman, and someone who's considered arayotim, gilui arayot, if they have relations, that's an issur from the Torah. There's a death sentence for that. And if they are involved in Negiah, touching each other, hugging and kissing, that's an issur prohibition from the Torah as well. It's a prohibition from the Torah. And he writes, known as derech taiv, in a pleasurable way, that's a prohibition from the Torah. While the Ramban says that Negiah, the hugging and kissing, is a drabanan. It's prohibited, of course, but it's a drabanan. So we have a famous machlok in the Rambam. The Ramban, whether Negiah, hugging, kissing, is prohibited from the Torah, prohibited from the rabbis. Practically speaking, it doesn't make a difference. Also, prohibition is a prohibition. This is discussed in the Rambam Perek Chaf Aleph. This is also in the Shulchan Aruch, Siman Chaf in Even HaEzer. In Issur Negiah, it's also brought up a few times in Kuf Nun Zayin. Discussed there about giving up one's life, not to be involved in prohibited relationships. And what about just touching a woman? So in the Shach, in Kuf Nun Zayin, Yud discusses it. Finally, Kuf Tzadihei in Issur Negiah, Hilchon Nida, man as a doctor, or not a doctor, but he wants to take his wife's pulse, and she's a Nida. So the one she's a Nida, they can't touch each other. On the other hand, he's not doing it out of chiva, out of love. He just wants to take her pulse and the like. So it's a serious discussion in all these different cases. But what comes out of it is the post can make clear that even the Rambam, who prohibits Negiah from the Torah, it's a biblical prohibition, does maintain that the issur is only when it's done in an affectionate way. So it's true that when it comes to a wife need, there might be extra stringency. You can't eat at the same table in the regular. Can't even pass things. That's a separate category, man and his wife, and she's a nida. And it could be that we'd say that a doctor could take a woman's pulse in the office when he's treating a regular woman, but it could be that by his wife nida is different. That's an important detail that should be looked into separately. No one should apply any halachot from this shir regarding when a woman, his wife is nida. But what does it come out from the poskim that the Rambam says that prohibition is when it's derech ta'ava, in an affectionate, loving way, as opposed to a person bumps into some woman by accident or takes her pulse as a doctor. That's not prohibited from the Torah and not from the Rabbanan. So that's the conclusion from the Shach and the other poskim. So let's just summarize this year. Before the next year, we would look into Rav Moshe and Rav Vosner. So Negiah is prohibited from the Torah according to the Rambam. Shulchan seems to go like that language as well. According to the Ramban, it is from the rabbis. Either way, of course, Negiah, touching a woman, is asur. The poskim clarify this is a prohibition either from the Torah or from the rabbis, once in an affectionate way, derech ta'ava, where there's hana, and it's done for that reason. And now, question is, someone's on a plane and a bus. If by accident they're going to touch each other, is that something we need to be concerned about? And even if it is, if a person says, I'm going to be stringent, well, does he have a right to be stringent on the cheshbon, on the account of others, of keeping the plane delayed and all that stuff? Mitzvah Hashem, we're going to look into that in the following shiur or next two shiurim. Shalom.